Are you bored of cooking? Not bored of eating, bored of cooking. So why are you bored of cooking? Is it because I cook the same 3 meals every week? That's actually the symptom, not the cause of the problem. Here's what I think is actually happening. You're not uninspired. It's just that nobody ever taught you how ingredients work. What they bring to a dish, how they talk to each other, why some combinations feel electric and others feel flat. So you keep reaching for the same recipes, the same rotation, that same Tuesday night special, but it's the same every week. So what do I do? Let me show you, because today that changes. Today we're gonna swim through a dish that I entirely built from scratch. And it comes from the bottom of the deep blue sea. It's fish. To be specific, the fish is rockling, and we're gonna add orange, lime, broccolini, chestnuts, a few different things, and I'll show you how we put them all together. But most importantly, I'm going to show you the decision making and the thought process behind all of the different processes. Not just what we're cooking, but why. Because once you understand why ingredients go together, you'll never be bored in the kitchen again. So the kitchen will be my little playground? That's right, little Brenton. But first, I'm Brenton Maris. I've been cooking with my imagination for years instead of following recipes. And today, I'm gonna help you do the same. To the ingredients. So what takes you from I'm bored, it's a chore, I don't like cooking, to creative in the kitchen? If you're just cooking for the sake of cooking, of course you're gonna be bored. But if you start to think of each ingredient like it has its own color, it has its own texture, it has its own flavor, and what contrasts and what balances with it on the other side, it's that thought process that really gets your creativity going. And then when you finish the dish, you can look at it with achievement of, oh, I built that. And if there's mistakes, then we learn from those mistakes. But that's the idea of creating that inspiration in the kitchen. And your job as the cook, not the recipe and instruction follower, as the actual cook, is to understand what each ingredient is contributing and whether that contribution is working for or against everything else. All right, let's run through it. That's enough talking. Fish, rockling actually. It's quite sweet in flavor, but it doesn't have a lot of flavor, very subtle. And if you add something else to the dish, it can easily take over the flavor. So what we want to do today is we want to have orange and lime, which will add sweetness and sourness and acidic flavors, and those citrus flavors will soak into the fish. So I'm actually going to cut the orange and the lime and add the juices to the pan. They're going to basically go swimming in orange and lime, and then cook the fish within those juices so that they take the flavor of the sweetness and the sourness, and the rich flavor of the lime. But I'm also gonna leave a couple of slices of each. That way it adds the vibrant orange and the vibrant lime green color to the dish at the end. There you go, a couple of slices for the end, and we'll do the same for this. There we go. And then I'll squeeze that into the pan. All right, so I'll put a little bit of oil in, turn the pan on, and put the juices into the pan. Start at first go. Let's squeeze it in. One of these, they're fantastic for just adding the orange. Look at that. A little bit, that should do it. Look at that. Let's put the fish in. Oh yeah, pretty excited. And then we'll put a lid on it as well. Gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to the mix, like so. Pepper. And what we can do is we can just get some of those juices and just dribble them on. Now we wanna put the lid on and have it cook slowly, and that should lock in the flavors. Broccolini doesn't swim, but it does contrast really well with the fish. Why? Because it's earthy, it's savory. It goes really well with the sweet, acidic sourness of what we're cooking over here, the fish. from a flavor point of view, something that really makes them bounce is the ghee or the butter and the garlic. And they go really well against the acidic and sourness. Texture-wise, if we boil it, it'll be soft, which we've already got soft fish over here. So if we fry it on the pan, it'll be nice and crispy and quite a harder texture. Color-wise, it's a beautiful green, which is very different to the whiteness of the fish. Chop some garlic. So over here we have cooking sweet and the sour. And over here, we're gonna have butter, garlic, and savory. So what are we missing? What flavors could we add to the dish to make it balance a little bit more? So let's go to the chart. What are we missing? We're missing creamy and we're missing spicy. It's already a great dish, but let's add a little bit of creamy. I don't think I want to add spice today. I could add yogurt. Nah, too sharp. I could add potatoes, like mashed potatoes. Nah, not today. I could add cream. I think we're getting closer there. But what I'm thinking is something a little bit different, is maybe ricotta cheese. But not just ricotta cheese, a sauce from ricotta cheese. Also, I want to add a more earthy flavor to that ricotta cheese. So I'm thinking like a type of nut. I thought maybe peanuts, maybe chestnuts. Look at that fish. Fish is pretty much done. We'll come back to the broccolini because first we're going to boil the chestnuts for the sauce. If you want to know all the different ways that you can cook chestnuts, I've done another video so you can go back and have a look at the 5 different ways of cooking chestnuts. It's always a quicker way, a little shortcut, is to boil the kettle to boil your water, and that way it only takes a couple of minutes. So we're going to boil the chestnuts for the sauce. If you're liking the videos, like and subscribe. Yeah! Ooh, splashing. Now that the chestnuts have been boiling for 20 minutes, we'll take them out. We're just gonna sit them here, let them dry, let them cool down, and then we're gonna peel them. If we cut little slits on the top, they're easy to peel away. Sometimes they're super easy to just peel off, and other times you might need to use a spoon. So you can see here, I can just get the spoon and dig it out. Maybe I'll peel this back first, like so. Maybe I'll get it out with a spoon, see? Time to make the sauce. So we're gonna put the ricotta cheese in, like so, and the chestnuts in, and then we'll blend it. Well, it's a bit thick, so it won't really blend into a sauce, which makes sense because they're both quite dense. So we're just gonna add a little bit of water to make it, oh, there's a bit of cheese, a little bit smoother and a little bit more like a sauce. Let's blend it and find out. All right, that's better. That's the consistency I was looking for. Oh yeah, chestnuts and ricotta, fantastic. Now I could have added some cream, or I could have added milk or something like that to make it more like a sauce, but I really just wanted that ricotta and chestnut flavor, so I just added water. But now it's got that, we can see that consistency of a sauce, which it's ready for the dish. All right, now we're gonna cook the broccolini in the ghee and the garlic, finish off the rest of the meal, and then put it all together and show you how it all works together. And then we'll see if we're missing anything. Pan on, bit of ghee in, afraid to get your hands dirty, and then garlic, beauty. Get these in, and so we don't want to cook them too long. We just want to crisp them up a little bit, cook that garlic, cook that butter, and then we'll see how it comes together. Oh yeah, that's going to be fantastic. It's going to be amazing. Just putting the lid on top of the broccolini so that it seals the flavor in, and then while the fish is nearly done, we'll just take the lid off so that it sort of dries it out a little bit, so that the sauce will go on and sit on there perfectly. So if we think through the colors as well, so we've got green from the lime and the broccoli, we've got orange from the orange, go figure, and we've got white from the creamy sauce. So we could add one more color to make it pop. I mean, it's already good now, but let's add pomegranate. Pomegranate's not just decorative though, it's a sweet flavor, sweet and tangy. And it also adds a little bit of crunch to the soft fish with the soft sauce. All right, I'm gonna try and get all the flavors together. So, you know, this, and there. That sauce really cuts through. You can really taste the chestnuts. Whoa. A little bit of garlic coming through, and then you can feel that a little bit of that acidic from either the sourness of the lime or the sweetness of the orange is just popping through a little bit. So I'm going to be honest with you about how the dish came together. It wasn't a straight line. I was thinking about just adding yogurt on top of the fish, but then obviously I chose the chestnuts with the ricotta, and then obviously that was too thick as well, so then I had to add a little bit of water until I got it to the consistency that I liked. I was initially thinking asparagus, but then I thought, no, let's try Chinese broccoli instead. Every one of those decisions was just me thinking through the process of what does the dish need right now? What is it missing? What should I be adding? But every time you ask those questions and you then answer those questions, you become a little bit more sharper, a little bit more instinctive, and you stop relying on someone else's instructions. And that's the whole point of what we're trying to do here. So tonight, when you're thinking of cooking something and you pick that main ingredient, walk through the different flavors, the textures, the colors, and the temperature. Then ask yourself, what balances it? What contrasts? What does it need? What is it missing? And then build from there. Don't go looking for a recipe. Just think to yourself, what other flavors I can add? What other textures I can add? What other colors? What other temperatures? And if something's too thick or too thin or too flat, then that's good. Just fix it, because now you know how to do it. And that's the education right there. If you're liking the videos, like and subscribe. Help out the little guys. If you like this video, you're gonna love this one.